welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. My name's Sheree. I know it's a little late. I think I'm like maybe a week and a half late, 2 weeks, but we're gonna do my April reading wrap up. I think I read 6 or 7 books in April, and then we're gonna talk about my May plans because I don't really have any, but there are like 1 or 2 books I want to read, and then the rest are gonna be picked by a special jar. Okay, so the first book I finished in April was From Luke Off with Love. I absolutely love this book. This was my first Mariana Zapata book, and I gave it 5 stars. It is fake dating, takes place in the ice skating world. It's friends to lovers. Well, to me, it's like enemies to friends to lovers. And what I like about this book and what I like about Mariana Zapata's books is that they're all slow burn romance, so you get time. You get time with them to actually like see them fall in love or fall into friendship or like form an actual relationship. And I just absolutely love that. Some of the quotes in here are just so cute, and I tabbed it up so much and it just read so fast. And this is the book that like made me want to read everything by Mariana Zapata. I really also liked the like ice skating aspects. I felt like we were like in the world. It was so immersive. I know nothing about ice skating, but now I just want to ice skate. And it was just such a great read. And this one started my Mariana Zapata journey because the next book I finished and read was The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. Now, I only tabbed this one a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love this one as much. I think I gave it 3 stars. It didn't read as fast, and it's huge. They're all so big. And I think the problem for me with this book is that the trope of like grumpy sunshine, which I feel like this is kind of grumpy sunshine because the Wall of Winnipeg, like he's grumpy. You know, they don't really give him, I don't really get a lot of like anything from him. I don't get romance because it's fake. It's marriage of convenience, and kind of it's not like a workplace romance. It could start out like that, but it's definitely marriage of convenience, and it takes place in the football world. And I liked the main girl, but the main male character did nothing for me. And I think that's one of the problems I have with the books. Like if I don't find anything I can like about the male main character, for me, that book is probably not going to hit. And that takes place usually when the book is Grumpy Sunshine, which is why I don't normally read Grumpy Sunshine, because I don't think that grumpy is like an excuse to be just like an asshole, you know? And normally I feel like grumpy is like, you're just an asshole. And I'm like, I don't like to read about asshole men, basically. So yeah, and I've never read a book where the girl is grumpy per se, so maybe that might be different. I don't know. But I gave this one, I think, like 3.5 because I did like the girl. The weird thing is, too, is I pictured all of these characters black. I don't know why. But that's what gave me that half star. And the friend. But because there's like a friend that lives with them, and I think his name is Nick. He's in another book. And I think his book is called Hands Down. But all of these characters are black to me. And I know they're not, but I don't know what it was. I just kept picturing them as black. Weird, but I don't know. So that was my second book I finished. The third book I finished was the novella. It's called Destroy Me. It's the first novella in the like Shatter Me series, because last month I read Shatter Me and then I wanted to read the novella. I read it on my phone. And it's just from, I literally don't even know these people's names. It's just, let me look it up. Okay, so it follows Warner. And after the events of the first book, it follows Warner while he like recovers and he's like back on base. That's it. It's a novella. It's basically that. This man is obsessed with Juliet. Like, it's a little bit scary how obsessed he is with her. So I'm interested. I haven't started the second book, I haven't started any of the other books. But I read the novella and the first book, so we'll see how that goes if I read the other books. I have the other 2 from the library, so maybe we'll read those. Then I just continued on my romance kick and I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I thought this was cute. The weird thing is I can't remember anything about this book now. I liked it. I don't know if I'll keep it. I didn't annotate at all. I don't know. It was cute. It didn't like blow me away. Basically, it's about this ice skater and this hockey player, Nate, and her name is Anastasia, or Stassi as they call her. And a prank gets pulled on their like ice skating rink, so it's on their rink where they practice. So the ice skaters and the hockey players have to share a rink, and she's like a predominant ice skater and he's like the captain of the hockey team. So they kind of have to work and coexist together. But he falls first in my opinion, and he is like, Stassi, I can't get you out of my brain. And she's like, you know what? I'm not looking for anything serious. So it just kind of unfolds from there. And her roommate and partner, wow, horrible character. He's just not a good dude. I don't know what else to say. He's not a good dude. But their relationship was cute. It was spicy, you know. They basically just like slept together and obviously developed feelings. That was that. I don't know. It was cute. I'll read the next one. I think she's coming out with another one called Wildfire. But oh, I will say there is a character in this book, Henry. Henry deserves his own book. And I know the next book is not about Henry, but Henry deserves his own book, and I will be waiting for that book. So then I picked a book from my TBR jar, and also, from Luke Off with Love was also picked from my TBR jar, and I absolutely loved it. Then I picked another book from my TBR jar, and it was The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. I had heard mixed reviews about this, but I absolutely loved it. I think I gave it a 5-star. And it's weird because, you know, you hear bad things about a book and then you think it's a 5-star and you're kind of like, wait, is my rating wrong? I don't know, but I loved it so much. I am upset that I didn't annotate it. I'm upset that I didn't annotate it because there were so many things I wanted to annotate. I felt like by the time I was ready to annotate, like I was already so far in the book. But because I told myself, oh, I'm not going to annotate it because I don't know if I'm going to like it. Basically, the book is about these 4 siblings, and I'm realizing I love like stories about siblings, not families, but siblings. So like mother-daughter stuff, don't care. I love a single dad, but something about families like brothers and sisters, I really like that. I don't have any siblings, and so I think reading about other siblings is like interesting to me. But it's about these 4 siblings, and in the 60s when they're younger, they go to see this woman who is supposed to be like a fortune teller type of woman, and she tells them the day that they are going to die, the date of their death. And each chapter after that, each section after that follows a different character basically leading up to their death. And when you think about it, that's really sad. Like, this book is actually quite sad. The first character, one of the brothers, like his takes place during the 80s, and he moves to San Francisco with his sister, and he has like a whole like coming of age story in San Francisco. It very much read like A Little Life, and I really loved that part because I think A Little Life is beautiful, and I just loved seeing his like coming of age story. And then you follow the different characters. One girl is like a magician and she wants to do magic. It was very much like The Prestige. Like, that's like the vibe I got. And then one of the last sister, like her death date is very far along. Like you pretty much are aware that like her death date is pretty far. So like, I don't know, it deals a lot with guilt and mental health and grieving with like dealing and grieving the death of your siblings. And I don't know, it's just a really good book. I thought I was so engaged. I read it in maybe like 3 days. I'm really glad I picked it up, and I really want to read anything else by Chloe Benjamin. I need to find her other book because I honestly really love this. And then I wanted to pick another book for my TBR jar, and that is what I did. And I ended up getting Corrupt, which is wild to me. I'm loving picking books for my TBR jar. I have found 3 wins for my TBR jar, and I'm currently reading another one, and I also love that one. And I don't know, so Corrupt is a dark romance. It is a romantic suspense. I kind of loved it. I thought this series would be spicier. This is the first books in a series of 6. It's called the Devil's Night series. And I tried to read Credence by Penelope Douglas. I did not like it because the girl was underage and I'm not with that. But this one, honestly, is not that spicy. It's more of like romantic suspense. So there is romance. It's very dark though. So it's not like, none of the characters are likable. The men, not that they're not likable, but they just have dark pasts, and it honestly gives me Vampire Diaries vibes, where it's like Damon is like from this book. Like it's very similar. He's very problematic, Damon as a character in here and in the show, and they're not vampires in here at all. They're just a group of 4 horsemen, 4 friends, and they like to pull pranks on Devil's Night, which is like right near Halloween. And one night things go awry and videos get leaked and they blame it on this girl. So the whole story is, and some of them go to prison, and the whole story is basically them trying to get revenge on her. They're basically trying to like take everything from her, and then things unfold. But one of them is in love with her. So like, I just thought it was so good. I'm so surprised how much I like this book. I thought the story was compelling. I'm actually reading, I just finished the second one, so I'm making my way to the third one. The second one was not as, I didn't love it as much as this one, but I do like being in this world because there's like high stakes, there's revenge, there's actual plot, and there's actual plot. And I love that. It's not just smut. And I was expecting just smut from Penelope Douglas, and she gave me plot. So thank you, Penelope Douglas. Thank you. Oh, I actually started the month with a book called Protective Heart by Brighton Walsh, I think her name is. So this was recommended to me because I was watching Gilmore Girls religiously, and I finished it this past month, and I'm obsessed with Luke. And so someone recommended this book to me, Protective Heart, because they said that the main male character in that book reminds them of Luke. And it's ironic because the character commented on one of my TikTok posts saying that the blueprint for the character was actually Luke. His nickname was Luke. And so I thought that was so fitting. And so reading that book, I literally was like, wow, this is Luke. And it was amazing to read about Luke and in a book, because I'm just like, that's the kind of like energy I love. I love Luke, and I loved reading about him having a romance. I'm trying to remember if it feels like I read it so long ago, but it's like a small town romance. And is it enemies to lovers? It's not, it's literally Gilmore Girls. It's literally Lorelai and Luke. It's Grumpy Sunshine, and they're like best friends. So it's friends to lovers, even better. And they're like best friends, kind of like Luke and Lorelai. And, you know, they kind of decide to start dating, and I don't know, it's so good. It's so sweet. It was so Luke and Lorelai, and I absolutely loved that. I don't remember the star rating I gave it, but I think I gave it 3 stars. I don't know. Those are all the books I read in April, and so now we are moving along to May. So I don't really do TBRs because I'm horrible at keeping to them. But I know that I want to continue reading the Devil's Night series. I know that I would like to finish that series this month. I'm reading them on my Kindle, and literally I read the last one in 3 days. 2 to 3 days per book, because it just reads so fast on here, and they're over 500 pages. But I don't know what it is. They go quick on the Kindle. And the third book is the one I'm reading right now. I think it's called Kill Switch. That's the one I'm about to start. So I know that I want to read that. I also picked another book from my TBR jar. That's what I'm currently reading right now, The Best Worst Man, which I would like to finish today because I have like 10 pages left. But most of my books are going to be from this baby right here, my TBR jar. I have had, like I said, 4 wins. So I think most of my books are going to be picked from here. That's like the goal, because it helps with my mood reading. I have so many books that I want to read that I am, what's it called? Decision fatigue, and like you're like frozen by choice. I don't remember what it's called, but so this helps me kind of just leave it to the universe and that's serving me really well right now in my life. But there are a couple books that I do want to read and make vlogs on. I was fortunate enough to get a copy of Yellowface, so I would love to read this, and I would love to do a reading vlog on that. I also got Fourth Wing and Chain Gang All-Stars. So these are two books that I would absolutely love to read this month. So those are my hopefuls. It's nothing like huge. I'm not doing a huge TBR. I'm not doing a TBR at all. Like I said, these are just hopefuls, and then most of the things will be picked from here. And I would like to finish the Devil's Night series. So I guess there is a TBR. I don't know. I'm not going to call it a TBR. I'm just going to call it my May hopefuls. Because to me, I'm picking everything from here, basically. But yeah, so that's it. That's the video. Welcome to May. I need it to be spring. I need it to stop raining. That would be great. I need it to be summer because I'm tired of it raining. Yeah. So anyway, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for sticking around. Follow me on TikTok and please subscribe to my channel because again, I love making these videos and I love reading and talking to you guys about books. If there's any books you're excited to read in May, comment them below. That would be awesome. And I would love to do a buddy read with anyone. That would be so fun. If there's any books you want vlogs on, let me know, or any kind of books any kind of videos that you guys would want to see, let me know. But until next time,